It was all meth. Always meth.
Yeah,
Because
May 26, 2012. And it's literally known as the Miami Cannibal Attack.
that sounds methy. Very methy business.
Meth doesn't make you do that.
You missed the pun.
Oh.
There we go.
Oh. I'm dying now.
I will not apologize for that. I cannot remember what I'm doing. Oh, this, yeah. Fuck.
Bath salts has a much more fun name in the United Kingdom.
Determine the age of the murderer thanks to the age range and apply it to the mannequins. I don't fucking know.
Bath salts in the UK is monkey death.
I honestly thought you were going to say monkey nuts. Monkey nuts. I don't get how I'm supposed to do this. I don't think I got it in the first place. I think starts the game with, yeah, meth. Maybe Jack the Ripper's just a meth dream. Whitechapel is just, you know, meth, wall to wall. I don't know why I'm so focused on meth at this point in time, but apparently that's my answer to everything. Meth. So I'm not going to the site called Game Boomers. That just feels insulting. Okay, Baker Street. I think I'm there. Right, yeah. Okay. Yeah, keep the guide up. I'm not going to be looking at it.
Perfect, Watson. Within a margin of 1 year, Watson, the age of our murderer is 33 years.
But the man described by Smith was dressed respectably, whereas the other two were poorly dressed.
Indeed, but Whitechapel's respectively could quite easily describe the Sunday bests that all lower-class men own. Now, let's place ourselves in the shoes of Liz Stride's killer. He has just slain his victim and sees Louis Diemschutz discover her body. Our killer is at great risk if he stays in the area. He therefore gets away from this spot. But he wants to kill again. However, he might have been spotted in the area before having committed the murder by a constable in his realm, perhaps, who managed to get his description. What do you think the killer will do?
Oh my god! Yes. I've got to match one of these statements with one of these.
No, Watson. No, Watson. No, that's not it.
Go back home or to a safe location, change his clothes and leave again in search of another victim.
It's the only possible explanation, Watson. The man returned to the safety of his lodgings and then decided to go out again with new clothes and repeat his sinister nocturnal work. That's how the discrepancies between the witnesses with regards to clothing can be explained.
What a cold-blooded animal.
And what determination! Powerful motives are pushing this man. Thus, we can conclude that the respectable man with the package may very well have been seen by the two Josephs.
Even if it is just a mannequin, it's giving me goosebumps. But have we really made any progress, Holmes? I mean, there must be thousands of men in Whitechapel who match this description, wouldn't you say?
You're right, Watson. We have worked on who, now let's work on where. We need a map of Whitechapel, and please also find me a pencil, 2 compasses, one of which can draw ellipses.
Yes, apparently I have to. Come on, John. Come on, Watsonbury. There they are. Oh, yes, this thing's at shoulder height for me. I mean, Annie can relate. Anything that's at shoulder height for me, she has to... I'm not going to look over because I know I'm getting death glares.
You know, my love. You know, the way bath salts work is that it induces insomnia, and all of the side effects come from both insomnia and a rapid beginning of serotonin syndrome.
And that is now recorded.
Thank you, Wikipedia. Because we just did a deep dive into that. By deep dive, I mean we followed them.
Ah, yes.
Terrifying.
Very deep dive.
One link.
Wait, so... I remember I had that issue, like last time I played as well. So he says, find me a comfortable pencil and 2 compasses, one of which can draw ellipses. And it's like, I found one, but didn't realize that the wooden thing is also a compass.
Map, Watson.
You say to bring him a map? Don't recall being told to bring a map, but okay, let's find a map.
It's the part that got really changed for me, and I ended up with this.
Oh god, yeah, I remember you telling me.
You should have remembered
What?
me calling you and yelling it.
Oh, I do. Where's that? I was thinking something the best. It's not something. Switch up your pause, Mrs. Fisher's way. Something by hand. It's the same way. It's the same man. Same man. Ripper is a tall man. Huh? Corpulent? No, he's got great physical force. Big ol' beefer. Big ol' beefer. I would have thought... I mean, we'll need a map. What, you mean apart from the one I'm always carrying with me to go and fast travel? Is that what you mean? Oh, there it is.
I am in need of something.
What do you mean you're in need of something? Do I have to...
First of all, let's place our 4 murders on this map, as well as the spot where the graffito appeared, and the piece of apron was dropped.
Oh no. Put me anywhere like Amber Street, Coulson Street, Meter Street, Dutfield's Yard. I can't remember where these ones were. Tree. Deductions? Catherine Meadows, Meter Square. There's still one more murder. I know that much. Polly Nichols, Bucks Row. Chapman, Hanbury Street. Elizabeth Stride. Elizabeth Stride. Dutfield's Yard. And his video was Coulson Street.
Watson. Let's connect each crime scene to the one out of the others that is the furthest.
Oh.
You see, Watson, the murders aren't grouped together, but seem to be spread out like cardinal points around a central zone. The killer obviously wanted to avoid returning to the previous scenes of his crimes, assuming that they would be more closely watched or that he could be recognized.
So the killer lives at the center of this cross?
In the vicinity, most certainly, but how near? We cannot afford to get it wrong. If you concentrate, Watson, you will notice that the murders are roughly equidistant from the intersection point of the diagonals. Let's focus on the night of the double murder. Remember, Watson, it took us 20 minutes to get from Dutfield's Yard to Mitre Square. Let's draw a line from one to the other. Perfect. We didn't make the trip as the crow flies, but that would not harm our estimate. Let's suppose the killer left Dutfield's Yard at 1 a.m. and arrived in Mitre Square at 1:35 a.m. when he was seen by the two Josephs. If he took 5 minutes to change his clothes, that leaves a range of 10 minutes to determine where this man's lodgings are. We must determine the area in which one can go from Dutfield's Yard to Mitre Square in less than half an hour. To do this, let's draw an ellipsis. The length between Dutfield's Yard and Mitre Square corresponds to 20 minutes. By adding half, we get a distance of 30 minutes. By taking the two right segments, each starting from the two murder scenes, and which the sum of the lengths makes 30 minutes, we get our ellipses.
Ouch. My head. I will be right back. Go put stuff in the...
Which one? Oh, yeah. Danger business, Joe.
Ugh. That's what we say. Ninja Biscuit, hello and welcome. Spooked. Spooky, scary skeletons. How does this actually work? Oh, it does that, is it? Okay. Oh god. So if I want it around about halfway through. It's not. That's apparently not it.
You came too far out.
Apparently no, I'm not. That's one either. pretty sure this glitch, this was this janky for me when I played on the Xbox as well. Stuff it up in here. The right one. This is so janky. I think it needs to be down more like that. Okay, not like that, but be down more here. I actually do not get how they got the shape that they've got on there. Favorite part of Sonic Prime is circle drawing. Yep. Drawing the most exact circle possible. So the weird thing is that... Oh, wait, it's because my lines are in slightly different places than the ones on here, but still... I can't believe that this passed QA, honestly. But then you'll probably find that the QA people were given the solution. And like, right, yep, here's exactly how to draw it, and here's the exact pixel to click on. Let me do the other compass one. Look at the wording of this. So, take a pencil and draw green lines from Meter Square to Box Row, from Dotsfield Yards to 29 Hanbury Street. That's that one head when you decide what to line. You have to draw some ellipses. Click in the middle of the third line. And move the cursor to draw the ellipses on the street, Stotfield Yards on Meter Square. Then click at the place with graffiti and move the cursor to reach the Meter Square. And finally, the area where the two ellipses against the melody was hiding. Right. So it's basically telling me to do what I am doing. Just, you know, I've got to sightline the halfway point. That looks like it should be it, but it's not.
Okay, so you see the square of roads? I think it's
Multiple.
right a little bit.
This bit, yeah.
Yeah. I think if you go over just the no, over to the left.
I didn't even move it.
To the right. Where that road that's going out of those squares meets up with the other top one.
Over
Where
here.
the green line is. Go up.
This one.
Go up. Intersection. One intersection. Thinking somewhere around there.
The stupid thing is the guide shows the yellow square as being like going through that bit, so I have a little small triangle there. But I cannot find an angle where I can get that and a thing around both of those, which is... This is just so stupid. Got no way of telling. There's something in which we can go from Duckfield's Yards to Mr. Square in less than half an hour. This is awful. One of these guys do it. Yeah. See if we can find a different guy that's, gives a different result of this. Jesus. Okay, that one looks different. Up there. This person's doing it like that. That's not it either. Could I have my... There we are. There you are. Could I... First comment to this one says, but no. Anyone know who can't get past running ellipses? Just make the area wider. Try doing exactly what's on the video with no luck at all. So try to project your about an inch wider when I saw, and it worked. Same for the second one you have to draw. Let's just mute this and have a look. Okay. There's another one. I've actually got to go and feed the cats, however. Help. But look in this video enough to see where you're there. Okay. know what, Sherlock? You draw the fucking sucking the answer anyway. I know, right?
I think it's much wider.
There we are, Watson. Our killer lives in this area.
It's still rather a vast area, Holmes.
Yes, indeed. And our goal is to reduce this area as much as we can. We must consider
That's
the
what
fact
I got.
that
That's
murder of Mitre
the one
Square
that
was
took me to the
committed
link
under
there.
a certain
Yeah.
amount of pressure, given that the killer knew he was wanted for the acts he committed not long before.
Something to
We can
do
assume that he had to do
how
it in a safe
it's
zone,
recorded
that is, an area not far from where
Yeah,
he
so
lives. This is
it's gotta be a
especially
resolution
true of
issue.
acts such as the graffiti he carried out after 2 murders. Let's trace a circle around this point, with the distance separating it from Mitre Square as the radius. This will enable us to determine our killer's safe zone.
Give me a sec, I've got to go feed the cats and eat a piece of the wall after that. There's no need to beg, Capius. I heard the alarm. Come on then. Come, boys. Come on. Come, Dress. Dindins.
I'm pretty sure Rage quit it one night and then went back to it.
Return. Need to do a quick thingy first. And back to the shop, the shitlock. So. That.
Our killer
Yeah,
must surely
she
live
was right
inside the
second
circle.
attempt.
Now, let's intersect it with the ellipsis that we previously determined. There
That
we are,
was a
Watson,
haunting
the
noise.
Aldgate district.
Shouldn't we inform the police so that they can concentrate their efforts on this area of Whitechapel?
It is probably already crawling with inspectors, Watson, and I doubt that they would take us seriously, even if they were willing to listen to what we had to say. Let's focus instead on understanding the killer's modus operandi. We know our murderer preys on prostitutes who are penniless, weak, sick, or alcoholic, that he distracts them the moment before killing them, and that he left an anonymous message inciting anti-Semitic hatred at the entrance of a building occupied by Jews. How would you describe this man?
What a coward.
Indeed, he is a person of great cowardice.
Oh, I also saw.
Let's look at his
Sorry, I
murders,
missed
and in
this. Danger
particular,
Biscuit, thank you very much for the follow. Very much
decapitations on the
appreciated.
corpses,
Welcome to the
putting
clutch.
aside that
Just get rid of this guide because it's in the way. Oh, broke the game slightly.
If we recall the observations made on the victims and the parts that were mutilated or damaged on each of the bodies, without forgetting the fact that he also removed one or more organs, we can ascertain that our killer evolves during the course of the murders, cowardly and still evolving. And yet, look at the location of our first murder, that of Polly Nichols in Bucks Row. It is the most distant from the area our killer would appear to live. Perhaps this murder was preceded by another within the killer's area. I believe a cowardly killer would commit his first murder in an area close to his home in order to find refuge as quickly as possible on carrying out the act.
Holmes, an idea just occurred to me that fills me with dread. This evolution of which you speak.
He will pursue his next victim as long as the conditions permit him to continue killing Watson.
But how could one go even further in this horror? Look at what he did to that woman, Catherine Eddowes.
In order to avoid having to answer that question, we must act with haste and planning. Watson, I suggest you inform yourself on the mutilations sustained by the victims. We played with the idea that this could be an act of vengeance against prostitutes. If the mutilations correspond to areas affected by a specific pathology, perhaps the killer wanted to give an eye for an affliction he felt the prostitutes he knew were responsible for.
Still have no idea what that purple thing is in the background on the edge of the table.
Dr. Tumblety Holmes?
I also have a few
It's a
things
texture
to look
break.
into in the meantime. I still have a primary witness to track down, not to mention old trails I've yet to pursue. See you soon, Watson.
Gabo, hello and welcome. How's Subathon going?
When we first
Strongly.
spoke about the Bucks Row murder,
Slept
Watson,
majorly
he was
and
reading a
did a break in
newspaper,
it, so
The Star,
we've got
dated
this much
September
left on the
1st,
second part of it.
1888, I believe, which mentioned similar murders in the preceding months. I have no chance of finding the police reports, but perhaps I could find some information at the Central News Agency. I must go there at once. Afterwards, I'll go back to see Abraham, the owner of the pet shop in Whitechapel. The second Joseph's statement would lead me to believe that he may know the man spotted on the corner of Church Passage that night. If that's the case, I must find this witness so I can question him.
Gabo, thank you very much for the gift sub. Very much appreciated. And congratulations on the receiving it, as it added 30 minutes to the clock. Map. Ward of Aldgate. Red.
I have no reason to go that way.
Where the fuck did he say he was going to go? I listened, I paid attention, but then just like, nope. Central News Agency, that's it. Hospital, Wharfdale Road, Hanbury Street, Barnes Bookstore, News Agency. Never ends.
Ah, Bulling is there. It won't hurt.
Bet she will
just
never
this
end if Lily
once.
follows up on her threat.
Hello, Mr. Bulling. So, did your colleague tell you about the tip?
What tip?
Ah, I see. I gave him an explosive tip and he went without you? Oh, that's not very sporting on his part. No doubt he took all of the credit for his discovery.
You're winding me up, eh?
I must show Bulling something to make him believe me.
What do you want?
I'm sure this is definitely not the actual answer. What do you want? I'm very certain that no one in their entire life would answer that question with this word. What do you want? Debt. Yeah, no.
I'm not winding you up. The proof is that he gave me this advance on the debt.
That traitor! He owes me if I find him!
Before I leave,
That
can
is
you
a
do me a
standout.
favor?
Heck, tell me.
I'm looking for some reliable info on the murders committed in Whitechapel in the months before Polly Nichols' attack.
Reliable? Ha! You really think you'll find that here? Fine. I'll be honest with you. We have folders that group the dispatches from the current year into categories. In the police law category, you'll find the transcripts from the trials and investigations that we sell to the newspapers that ask us.
Perfect.
Sadly, I am out of time. I'll leave you to solve it, eh? You're the detective, aren't you?
I will slap that beard off your face. You go and gaslight go. Gate boss go. Gate boss? Sherlock gate bosses. with his legendary spear, Gay Bulge.
The dossiers are full of papers in dated envelopes. I can't open them. That would be too obvious. How can I tell which compartment to look in? No categories are indicated.
How the bollocks?
An envelope is torn. I can tell that this dispatch contains economic information.
Okay, so that's economy. You have to find something else from this one. Was there a document? I'm definitely not reading things right. I've read that's pornography. Look for anything that says Central News Agency. I don't know. How else am I supposed to find this? You would just have panics at trying to figure out why Twitch suddenly looks wrong in every way, sub icons, everything. Just gotta turn up with GX to force dark mode, and then invert the colours and all that.
This compartment was repaired recently.
Okay.
Behind your head was recently repaired.
Yes. That's the one I clicked on when he
This
said
compartment
that.
was repaired
But
recently.
I don't know. I don't have any evidence or anything to say which one that is. Or, you know. It all seems like it says, it's from here, but I have nothing to suggest any of it.
An envelope is torn.
Unless I'm supposed to look around and find something that gives it. Pixel hunt begins. Except, thankfully, it's not a pixel hunt, not like it was on Silver Earring. Oh, yeah. Repair the wood of the World News in Brief compartment. Okay, so I found what News in Brief is. The recent repaired one is news in brief. Boop. Something there as well. Dear Fernand, I'm confirming my presence on Friday evening at the club. It will be with pleasure because I must be getting my mind off things or risk falling into a black depression. Just imagine, that new laddie still has favours of Janet. But she'll end up forgetting him and giving in to me because I'm not lacking in ideas to get rid of her suitors. Yesterday I randomly placed a few inventions and science with politics dispatches. After all, they're always harebrained items. Given that the compartments are on top of one another, it could have easily passed as one of the news errors as anticipated. He was called in by the boss. As soon as I have the chance, I will show him how, like in the news, everything is in the balance. He looks like a half-wit. He could easily confuse the politics with the society section on his right, and the latter with economy, which is its neighbour. What a lovely mess. I don't know how an intelligent girl like Janet can be a swot like him, but he doesn't have much longer to smile. Let's see, so... Inventions and science are on top, and politics are on top of that. Confused politics with society section on his right. The latter with economy, which is its neighbour. So that means that politics is next to economy, and inventions and science is below it. And then society is on the right of inventions and science. I think this place was better organised. We've caught 5 murders by now, I know, right? Inventions and science. Politics. And what the fuck was the other one? Society, thank you. We got that, at least. Oh, that was like another one. Sir, as the agency receives numerous dispatches, the filing system that you made appears to be too small, particularly for the world and society sections, which cover too much area and overflow into the boxes below. Police, law, and culture, respectively. Would you be able to furnish a device in order to keep only one filing cabinet? Noting your response, sir, please accept our best wishes, the assistant directed. So basically, world and society is one on the top one, which is bulky, and then police, law, and culture are next to each other. Alright. So that would then suggest that that one is... World would be there. And then we've got culture and police and law. Or other way around. Allegedly.
Closed.
Get out. Attention, the blue envelopes from the dispatch compartment contain confidential facts that must not be discussed in the news. As a reminder, they contain the political personalities, essentially the royal family, and economic issues. These dispatches will be retained only to be diffused when Buckingham Palace or the ministers give us the authority. So the blue envelopes are confidential stuff, usually political personalities. Come on. Come on, Sherlock. Don't make me give you your nickname that Mycroft calls you. Mm-hmm. I'm not joking, and don't call me Shirley. Personalities.
I think it said the blue folders have to be economy, politics, and personality.
Yeah, but I don't see how. Because... Sholmes. Sholmes. I looks like it actually is all of them, unless there's stuff on the telephone over here. Nope. Also, actually, that might be all the all the help I'm getting. Inventory. So, right. So, repair the wooden news in brief compartment. So the newest one is definitely news in brief. That one is 100% that. Randomly placed a few inventions and sciences with politics dispatches. I thought it was him how given the campus on top of each other. So inventions and science and politics on top of each other. As soon as I have the chance, I will show him how, like in the news, everything is in balance. It looks like halfway he could easily confuse the politics with the society section on his right, and this latter with economy, which is its neighbour. What a lovely mess.
So economy is society's neighbor.
Yeah. Wait, where'd you see economy?
The ladder with economy with its neighbor.
Oh, right, yeah. Society and economy is next to each other. So society. So if that one's economy, then that's that.
So inventions, that should be society. And then politics is on society's left.
Which is
society's
there.
on politics right.
Means that's there. The personalities is the blue one. The only one with blue ones is the culture one.
So that would be personality.
Yes, that's what done. World and society sections cover too much area to overflow in the boxes below. So, world and society are these two ones, that's definite. Police law and culture respectively. So police law is below world, culture is below society, which is how they are now. And then blue envelopes from the dispatch compartments contain confidential facts and must not be discussed in news. Remind they contain that. And economic issues. Dispatches will be retained only to be diffused when back in parcels together. So yeah, that looks like that is correct. But apparently it needs everything. So let's do... Well, that's not it.
There is the middle left table. Look to the exit. To be a journalist's letter.
Middle left table close to the door. So on the... Oh, there it is. Oh, I swept over that. My dear George, your little brother has had some misfortune. My first week of work was very grueling. First, I was given a spot far from the stove and I'm very cold in the morning. Next, I had to sort through the dispatches, the most tedious and boring work imaginable. Once the work is done, I must take each envelope to the journalist in question, who won't even deign to look at me. Finally, at the end of my third day, the boss called me to his office to give me a sermon. It seems I had mixed up the dispatches. I was so worn out that I could only protest half-heartedly. He gave me a second chance, and now I'm in a sticky situation. The only helpful note comes from my colleague, Miss Filthen, a charming young woman who is the only one to give me a smile. She helps me as much as she can and tries to prompt me regarding which compartment I should put my dispatches, because everyone here knows the order of the sections, but no one has bothered to tell me. The lady has so much compassion and slides me notes such as politics and society are on the side. Sports is underneath economy. Personality is at the end of the row. Front page news is the first compartment, etc. And these confidences are almost words of love from her mouth. I don't think that she likes placing the envelopes on the desk at all because she ends up with some thanks that are very disturbing. I volunteered for the task, much to everyone's displeasure. Nothing new concerning my landlady, but I managed to pay her for the week and she consented to keep me. Didn't say anything about my troubles to Mumsy. I don't want to alarm her, but not wanting to lie to her, I've chosen to not write. With warmest regards, your brother Albert. Okay. Okay, so we've got politics and society are on the side. Those are not on the side. Unless it means on the side as in beside each other.
Yeah. The front page is...
Sports is underneath economy. So sports is there. Front page news is the first compartment. Oh, hang on, so... personality is the end of the row. So the personality is there. So front page is the first one, but close that, and then there we are.
These envelopes contain dispatches of police and judicial cases. Now, I need to open them discreetly. I must try to unglue the openings.
Set on fire. Burn the evidence, Sherlock. Burn the evidence. Be paid for that. Should really, shouldn't I?
These envelopes contain dispatches of police and
But
I need something.
there we go.
I need something.
What else do you need, Sherlock? Sorry, what?
Sitting blue.
Yes.
I need something.
Steam? Means I need to go and find some water. The envelope. That's a flamethrower.
It's not good.
I need something.
I mean, what?
I'll play doll reach.
Oh, they've both been doing that the entire game. That's why I made the joke. Good look for gin.
Water.
I just pick up the water. And the bucket.
He filled the teapot, but he just went, water. New one.
Gin. Blood. There, that will provide me with steam. Blood.
What do I? Oh, I actually had to wait. All the liquids here.
Open, and it looks like I'm in luck. This envelope contains precious information.
Testimony in the Smith affair. Why the? What the fuck? Oh, great. Thanks, Twitch. Thanks, OBS and Twitch. I scrolled with my mouse wheel and it scrolled chat and then paused it because I'd scrolled. And then wouldn't unpause until I had alt-tabbed out. Testimony in the Smith affair. Day of inquest, Saturday, April 7th, 1888. Mr. Wynne E. Baxter, the East Middlesex coroner, held an inquiry on Saturday, the 7th of April, at the London hospital respecting the death of Emma Elizabeth Smith, aged 45, a widow lately living at 18 George Street, Spitalfields, who it was alleged had been murdered. Chief Inspector West of the H Division of Police attended for the Commissioners of Police. Mrs. Mary Russell, Deputy Keeper of a common lodging house, stated that she had known the deceased for about 2 years. On the evening of a bank holiday, 2nd of April, she left home at 7 o'clock and returned about 4 or 5 the next morning in a dreadful state. Her face and head were much injured, one of her ears being nearly torn off. She told the witness that she had been set upon and robbed of all her money. Witness took her to the hospital, and when passing along Osborne Street, the deceased pointed out the spot where she was assaulted. She said there were 3 men, but she could not describe them. Mr. George Hulsip, house surgeon, stated that when the deceased was admitted to the hospital, she had been drinking but was not intoxicated. She was bleeding from the head and ear and had other injuries of a revolting nature. Witness found that she was suffering from rupture of the peritoneum, which had been perforated by some blunt instrument used with great force. The deceased told him that at 1:30 that morning she was passing near Whitechapel Church when she noticed some men coming towards her. She crossed the road to avoid them, but they followed, assaulted her, took all the money she had, and then committed the outrage. She was unable to say what kind of instrument was used, nor could she describe the assailants, except for that she said that one was a youth of 19. Death ensued on Wednesday morning, 4th of April, through peritonitis set upon by the injuries. Margaret Hayes, living at the same address as the deceased, deposed to seeing Mrs. Smith in company with a man at the corner of Farrant Street and Burdett Road. The man was dressed in dark suit and wore a white silk handkerchief round his neck. He was of medium height, but witnesses do not think she could identify him. That's the lady bit's blunt object.
To the lady bits.
Yep. Chief Inspector West, H Division, stated that he had no official information on the subject and was only aware of the case through the daily papers. He had questioned the constables on the beat, but none of them appeared to know anything about the matter. The coroner said that from the medical evidence, which must be true, it was clear that the woman had been barbarously murdered. It was impossible to image a more brutal and dastardly assault, and he thought the end of justice would be better met by the jury recording their verdict at once than by adjourning to some future date in the hope of having more evidence brought before them. The jury returned a verdict of willful murder against some person or persons unknown. The police are making every possible inquiry into the case, but up to yesterday, 8th of April, had not any clue to the persons who committed the outrage. Another one. Excuse me. Testimony in the Tabram case. Last day of inquest, Thursday, August 23rd, 1888. Yesterday afternoon, 23rd of August, Mr. George Collier, the Deputy Coroner for South East Middlesex, resumed the inquiry at the Working Lads Institute, Whitechapel, into the circumstances attending the death of Martha Turner, or Tabram, a hawker, lately living at 4-Star Place, Star Street, Commercial Road East, who was discovered early on the morning of Tuesday, the 7th instance, laying dead on the first floor landing of some model dwellings known as George Yard's Buildings, Commercial Street, Spitalfields. When found, the woman presented a shocking appearance, there being 39 stab wounds on the body. Beaten by 11. Didn't want to give her a chance, did you? Detroit Become Human has ruined me.
Blood.
Some of them apparently haven't been inflicted with a bayonet. Alfred George Crowe, cab driver, 35, George Yard Buildings, disposed that he got home at 3:30 on Tuesday morning. 28 stab wounds. Didn't want to give him a chance, did you? As he was passing the first floor landing, he saw a body lying on the ground. He took no notice. He was accustomed to seeing people lying about there. He did not know then whether the person was alive or dead. He got up at 9:30, and when he went down the staircase, the body was not there. Witness heard no noise while he was in bed. He was probably asleep. Police Constable Thomas Barrett, 226H, said that the last witness called his attention to the body of the deceased. He sent for a doctor who pronounced life extinct. Dr. T.R. Killeen of 68 Brick Lane said that he was called to the deceased and found her dead. She had 39 stab wounds on the body, she had been dead some 3 hours, her age was about 36, and the body was very well nourished. Witness had since made a post-mortem examination of the body. The left lung was penetrated in 5 places, and the right lung was penetrated in 2 places. The heart was penetrated in 1 place, and that would be sufficient to cause death. The liver was penetrated in 5 places, the spleen was penetrated in 2 places, and the stomach was penetrated in 6 places. The witness did not think all the wounds were inflicted with the same instrument. The wounds generally might have been inflicted by a knife, but such an instrument could not have inflicted one of the wounds, which went through the chest bone. His opinion was that of the wounds were inflicted by some kind of dagger, and that all of them were caused during life. Henry Samuel Tabram, 6, River Terrace, East Greenwich, Greenwich, sorry. Husband of the deceased woman said he last saw her alive about 18 months ago in the Whitechapel Road. They had been separated for 13 years owing to her drinking habits. She obtained a warrant against him for some part of the time witness allowed her 12 shillings a week. But in consequence of her annoyance, he stopped at this allowance 10 years ago, since which time he has made it half a crown a week, as he found she was living with a man. Fun fact, these are real murders. Yep. Live extinct, I think. Fun fact also, there are the canonical 5 murders of Jack the Ripper, and then these 2 before the canonical, and then 4 after. Jesus.
Everybody agrees on the 5. Well, actually, not everybody. Everybody agrees on the 3. Yeah. People question if the last is part of it, the first is part of it. The most people can agree, the most that experts pull together of being like, probably, maybe all the same guy, are up to 8.
I mean, copycats exist, and if someone's actually doing a serial killer, it's like, well, shit, I can get away with killing this person, making it look like it was a serial killer, and no one will come looking at me. Henry Turner, a carpenter staying at the Working Men's Home, Commercial Street, Spitalfields, stated that he had been living with the woman Tabram as his wife for about 9 years. 2 or 3 weeks previously to this occurrence, he ceased to do so. He had left her on 2 or 3 occasions in consequence of her drinking habits, but they had come together again. He last saw her alive on Saturday, the 4th instance, in Leadenhall Street. He then gave her 1 shilling, 6 dinar to get some stock. When she had money, she spent it on drink. While living with witnesses, deceased's usual time for coming home was about 11 o'clock. As far as he knew, she had no regular companion, and he did not know that she walked the streets. As a rule, he said, a man of sober habits, and when the deceased was sober, they usually got on well together. Mrs. Mary Bosefield, wife of a woodcutter residing at 4 Star Palace Commercial Road, knew the deceased by the name of Turner. She was formerly a lodger in her house with the man Turner. Deceased would rather have a glass of ale than a cup of tea, but she was not a woman who got continually drunk, and she never brought home any companions with her. She left without giving notice and owed 2 weeks' rent. Mary Ann Connolly, Pearly Poll, who was the suggestion of Inspector Reed, was cautioned in the usual manner before being sworn, stated that she had been for the last 2 nights living at a lodging house in Dorset Street, Spitalfields. Witness was a single woman. She had known the woman Tabram for about 4 or 5 months. She knew her by the name of Emma. She last saw her alive on bank holiday night, then witness was with her about 3/4 of an hour. Excuse me. And they separated at 11:45. Witness was with Tabram and 2 soldiers, 1 private and 1 corporal. She did not know what regiment they belonged to, but they had white bands around their caps. After they separated, Tabram went away with the private, and Witness accompanied the corporal up Angel Alley. There was no quarrelling between any of them. Do you know about too much about Jack the Ripper? Literally Sherlock Holmes reading in like 5th grade when I was 11, and then to Jack the Ripper and the murder shows, nearly 30 years of murder shows. A, I know. B, I've met your family. C, I've met your co-workers. Witness has been to the barracks to identify the soldiers, and the 2 men she picked out were, to the best of her belief, the men she and Tabram were with. The men at the Wellington barracks were paraded before witnesses. One of the men picked out by the witness turned out to not be a corporal, but he had stripes on his arm. Detective Inspector Reed made a statement of the efforts made by the police to discover the perpetrator of the murder. Several persons had stated that they saw the deceased woman on the previous Sunday with a corporal, but when all the corporals and privates at the Tower and Wellington barracks were paraded before them, they failed to identify the man. The military authorities afforded every facility to the police. Pearly Poll picked out 2 men belonging to the Coldstream Guard at the Wellington barracks. One of those men had 3 good conduct stripes, and he was proved beyond doubt to have been with his wife from 8 o'clock on the Monday night until 6 o'clock the following morning. The other man was also proved to have been in barracks at 5 minutes past 10 on Bank Holiday night. The police would be pleased if anyone would give them information of having seen anyone with a deceased on the night of Bank Holiday. The coroner, in summing up, said that the crime was one of the most brutal that had occurred for some years. For a poor defenceless woman to be outraged and stabbed in the manner which this woman had been was almost beyond belief. They could only come to one conclusion, and that was that the deceased was brutally and cruelly murdered. The jury returned a verdict of willful murder against some persons or persons or none. Or the murder knowledge in one being too powerful to imagine. Oh my god, Q's aspiring to be like you.
Excludes the murder of the first woman, Miss Smith. Jack the Ripper can't be the author
And
of
the
that crime.
kettle's lost
On
its
the other hand,
textures.
there are enough similarities to suggest he may be the killer of Martha Tabram.
Why does this game get so janky every single time I stream it? Breaking hands.
Go to the pet shop.
I don't even know how.
I
just
must
do
go
it
to
by
the pet
existing.
shop.
I'm not surprised she's crossing the street to avoid you. You've just said out loud in front of the pet shop, I must go to the pet
Closed
shop.
until further notice. Abraham isn't there. No luck.
Beep beep. It's beep beep man.
Beep beep.
Good evening.
Oh, good evening, sir.
Why is the shop closed?
Do you know why Mr. Solomonich's shop is closed?
No, I don't. Perhaps his cousin, the cobbler, knows. But I believe the police came to take his animals. I think that might have something to do with it.
Beep beep.
When was this?
During the day. The kids you were with
This
the
is
other
the
day were
three
there.
British
They
people I watch
told
seem to
me.
break games.
They just came by to ask for some cat's meat. They didn't have any money, but I gave them some anyway. Ah.
Are you going to keep... No, he's going to keep doing eye-rubbing animations, but not the same one over and over again. Oh, there he goes.
Is something wrong?
It's just that there was a little girl with them, the same age as mine. My little girl who went away with her mother, with the angels into the sky.
Dr. Watson told me about your loss. Please accept my condolences. Would you like to talk about it? How did it happen?
The illness, sir. My poor little girl was in agony, and her face and body were ravaged by the disease.
Her face?
Yes, she looked like a ghost.
What illness was it?
Dr. Gibbons tried to explain when I took my little girl to see him, but I didn't understand. I'm sure that he was trying to insinuate it was my fault. I'm sorry, but I don't want to talk about it anymore.
I understand. Farewell. Let's go and see Dr. Gibbons.
I understand. Bye. Well, no, not even apologising or any more condolences or anything like that to any well-wishing. Just say, oh yeah, sure, bye.
Hello, Doctor. Do you remember me? I'm Sherlock Holmes, Dr. Watson's friend.
Oh, yes. Excuse the mess, but I am doing a bit of tidying.
I have come to see you about a Mr. Hardyman, a cat food seller by trade who recently lost his daughter and wife.
Yes, I know him. A tragic story.
Actually, I was hoping you could tell me about the disease that took his daughter, a disease that would have attacked her face.
Well, to keep it short, we are speaking of syphilis, Mr. Holmes. You must certainly know that it is transmitted through intimate connections, and that the vast prostitute
not how you
population
spell
here
connections.
contributes to its inevitable progression. It destroys individuals by spreading through the body slowly. The most obvious symptoms can be found in the genitalia and on the face in the form of pustules or lesions. Sometimes this illness can destroy whole families. The father catches it from a prostitute, he transmits it to his wife, who in her turn passes it to the kids which she bears or nurses. These cases are numerous in the vicinity. Certain children, and this is the case of the little girl whom I won't name, suffer from an emaciation of the face which will, apart from predicting an imminent death, bring infamy upon the family.
Right's not right, but right's not wrong.
See, the worst thing is, when I was in school, around about the age of 16, 17... Was it 17? Oh, no, it might have been like 15 or 16. But basically, there was this system or scheme done to basically, I don't know, get discounts for students and, as a incentive for them to stay in school, I think it was. And it was called Connections, spelt like that, with the X. I even used to have a little Connections card of my own. It actually did fuck all apart from prove the fact that I was a student. And that also didn't actually account for anything. Because anywhere that I saw says student discount says, well, you can't just have that card. You do need to have a card that says you are an active student with an expiry date on it. That one didn't have it. So it's like, well, this card's just fucking useless and taking up space in my wallet. So I yeeted it.
Emaciation of the face?
Yes, what we sometimes call the pox. I will give you a photograph. One cannot be mistaken on the origin of such a face. The eyes seem to be void of lids. The nose is inexistent, as if it was cut off. And the cheeks are chiselled, as if cut with a knife. This loss of facial matter, this emaciation, is, in this area, often the gift from a father to his children.
Where do we know
Can I keep
those
this
things
photograph?
from?
I should destroy it. But if it can remind you that one must sometimes think twice before giving in to physical attraction...
I always seem to find myself alone in such cases. Thank you, Doctor.
Jesus Christ! I'd forgotten it was that. Jesus.
Let's go to the cobbler's.
Gin.
Yeah, I think I need some. Oh god, okay, back up again. It's empty. Look, even Capius is freaked out by it. He didn't even see it. Yes, please. One of the monsters, just so I can get rid of them.
Let's go to the cobbler's.
Imagine not seeing one. Weird. Modus operandi.
Well, no, to be fair, the peach one's, a tolerable one. I don't have any great love of any of them. Like, just, any of them.
Hello, Mr. Solomon.
And I can't look.
Ah,
Yeah.
Mr. Holmes, how are things with you?
I don't know why his face now looks quite strange. Maybe I've never actually seen this character model, front on before, and only from the side.
The beard is just like...
Yeah, the beard is just a solid entity.
The beard's aggressively bearding.
Yeah, the beard is just one polygon on its own, attached to its face.
Beard.
I heard your cousin Abraham had a problem with his shop. What happened?
If I didn't know you well, I would tell you that it's Jewish business that doesn't concern anyone but the Jews. But as you have a little bit to
Beard's
do
been
with
dented.
it, you have the right to know what is going
I want to
on.
break the beard so bad, just
Would
snap.
I have something to do with it?
Someone that's seen Abraham telling you something and making big gestures near the Imperial Club. A vicious rumor quickly spread, and it has caused him great injustice. A slanderous denunciation attracted the authorities' attention to my cousin's shop.
Grabbing causes.
Abraham must be in
No,
the
but-
process of answering their questions.
Newsies.
I did, indeed, speak with your cousin the other night. I'm shocked at the consequences of this discussion.
No, that's a butt
As I was
talk.
saying, it's the story of the Jews. In the face of adversity, we are united. But amongst ourselves, it's like anywhere else. As soon as our people take a dislike to
He
someone,
looks so
right
angry.
or wrong, we can be without pity and quite cruel.
The tale tells me otherwise.
This is all very worrying. Your cousin knows one, or rather two, of the men who were at the Imperial Club on the night of the Mitre Square murder. One of the two, a butcher in Aldgate named Joseph, is
He's also
probably
looking at me as if he
withholding
wants me to
information
help.
of the utmost importance. I must find this man. Perhaps you can help me.
But there are dozens of Jewish butchers around Aldgate, half of which must be called Joseph. And you know, Mr. Holmes, we Jews prefer to remain in the background of this murderer business, this Jack the Ripper thing. All of London is pointing their fingers at us saying, it's a Jew who disemboweled these women. Our community is in great peril, you know. There was the business with Lipsky and Leather Apron. I will see what I can do, but I don't promise anything.
I'd be extremely grateful to you. Very well. We may meet again, Mr. Solomonovich.
You are most welcome, Mr. Holmes.
I've paced up and down Whitechapel enough. I should return to Baker Street in order to reflect on the new facts that I have discovered.
Just didn't go back to the picture. I think I might have had a heart attack if we went to the picture again.
Hello.
Oh,
Holmes.
it's not a texture break. It's the poster for the seance. That's what that purple thing has been.
Good day, Watson.
Oh,
Listen,
don't take me a
I
while.
know I should have got here sooner to give you a report on my research, but this case has led me to neglect my patients and my wife more than I care to admit. I've been able to sort things out over the last few days, and now I am ready to pursue this investigation.
You don't have to justify yourself, Watson. Whilst I do tolerate you as an observer, and despite your occasional help with more menial tasks, may I remind you that you are by no means an indispensable part of this case.
Oh, you tolerate me as an observer, do you? Oh, you're too much, Holmes. Well, Mr. Detective, despite my absence, I have been working on this case, putting my relationship on the line in the process. And I happen to have a confidential letter that only passed from one lord's hand to another. What it contains is extremely serious.
Just,
and
you know, get
concerns
to the
Dr. Tumblety.
Get to the era when you were doing the Robert Downey Jr.
see
Sherlock. You know, the romance. My lord, be hereby assured of my entire collaboration in the affair, to which I must reply. No one will be able to cast opprobrium on our institution or ourselves. Our eminent colleagues support our policies, and they won't cooperate with the police as long as the higher interests that we serve aren't menaced. As you mentioned, we must avoid having to explain to the uncultured masses the exigencies of medical research. God, doctors talk a load of bollocks, don't they? A general crisis of confidence will result in inevitable amalgamation that the press would hasten to create between this and the hideous murders committed in the East End. To this end, I tactfully evoked the rumour that you mentioned in your letter when I met with my colleagues. It turns out to have grounds, and these are specifics to which I was able to obtain. 18 months thence, an American doctor in London did in fact contact certain hospitals. His approach was aimed at getting stocks of feminine genitalia, particularly uteri. He was motivated initially by the finalisation of his research, and of its publication. The doctor in question wanted to include a uterus specimen freshly conserved in formalin with each of the research dissertations sent to each of the colleagues involved. Why? That's been the wheel because of that face. See, I can't face well here. Nope. Face says forbidden. Also, we're actually getting quite close to the end of the game. A large quantity and thus necessary, and this doctor proposed to buy each of the uteri for £20 each. The hospital directors did not pay heed to these demands, of that I have been assured. Between you and I, my lord, who knows what strange consequences will have followed these demands of the American doctor. The rumour of these unusual commissions made the tour of the hospitals in question at the time has spread to others since. Simple day labourers employed in our organisation considered that the gain of £20 could justify a theft, perhaps worse. The identity of the doctor is unknown to me, but based on the recall of one of my colleagues, this man had the most impressive references. But after a bit of research that I didn't find the existence of any publication with an eventual correlation on this or the other side of the Atlantic. The man left London shortly after his pitch, it would seem. I cannot help but think that he perhaps has returned to London and has found someone who might furnish him with what he was looking for.
Excellent. This American could turn out to be of great use to use.
That's right. And that's not all.
my God.
I did some research and finally found an illness that
Baby
affects
sharks
the
are getting in
genitalia
game.
and can, in certain cases,
Baby
cause
shark,
facial symptoms
baby
resembling
shark,
the mutilations seen on the last victim. It is called, would you believe?
Syphilis and the emaciation that can be seen in affected children. I have known that for days, Watson.
God, Sherlock.
Listen, now you're already here, Watson, we may as well continue the investigation. Do you remember the map on which we established the area in which our killer lives? I think we should continue our study.
I'm honestly surprised it's taking this long for them to get a game.
Nothing of interest here. I have no reason to go that way.
What the fuck do I do? What? What are my deductions board? Conclusions? No, deduction. And that is all done. There's PS4 and 5. Yeah. Right from that. You know, I get DMCA'd within 5 seconds if I did.
There is nothing more to do here. We must place the murder of Martha Tabram in George Yard on the map.
Hey? Where is the map? Where did you put it, Sherlock? We found out. You assume it Q? Yeah, but we already know that Q would just start screaming as soon as anything even remotely threatening turned
I
up.
discovered the case of another murder before that of Bucks Row. It happened in George
Yeah, I found
Yard. We shall put it on the map in order to see if it corresponds to our area of research. We must place the murder of Martha Tabram in George Yard on the map.
Oh, look, there's George Yard. The Tabram.
That is where Martha Tabram's murder took place. There's no point going there.
Wait.
I already have all the information we need on that matter.
Within two
You see,
lines,
this
he
murder
said he
took place
used
in the
two
area
different
in which our
pronunciations
killer
of
lives,
Tabram.
his safe
There's
zone.
Tabram and Tabram.
Nonetheless, there are two major differences between the murder of this Martha Tabram and that of Polly Nichols. Firstly, the blows inflicted are not the same.
And the second difference?
It follows on from a doctor's opinion. He claims two weapons might have been used, and if there is one group of people we absolutely must not trust in this business, it's doctors. Don't you agree, Watson?
Watch it, Holmes.
Tabram's murder took place in an area where the murderer, whose cowardice is clear, was able to make a quick getaway, that is to say, near his home. For his second murder, he would have wanted to go further afield, so the police would not link these two cases. And as for the other murders, seeing the ineffectiveness of his last one, he headed in different directions to kill his victims while still staying in the vicinity and without going any further
Oh,
than
the mannequin
necessary.
behind him's lost its textures
And
as
all the
well.
while
All his
planning
clothing
escape.
has. Oh, fuck.
My dear Watson, we now know what this man looks like, in what area he lives, and that he suffered directly or indirectly from syphilis. Let's not forget the anatomical knowledge he must almost certainly possess. Given his lower-class background, a butcher seems very likely. However, it may be the case that the man was a butcher once, but is no longer. He might also have been a medical assistant. Who knows? That's why we need the testimonies of the other Joseph and Dr. Tumblety in order to be certain.
What shall we do, Holmes?
As the police's cooperation is futile and can be ruled out, we have nothing to do but wait. Watson, wait, and hope we see one of these two men before the killer strikes again.
At last, a long day's work done. How are you doing, Holmes?
Fine, Watson, just fine.
I suppose you still haven't heard any news from Whitechapel.
No, Watson.
It's been almost a month now. Who knows? Our killer may have brought justice upon himself, overcome by remorse and ignominy for his actions.
Eternal optimist,
What's a
Watson.
chance, Watson?
You haven't done anything about the story of a kidney that was sent in the post and reported by the papers. Why not?
The killer left a message on one occasion with the intention of harming. The letter accompanying this package served no purpose other than to give value to its recipient and arouse disgust against its sender. The killer has never done anything for nothing. In order to authenticate the Galston Street message, he left an indisputable piece of evidence. Can we really say as much about this kidney?
I don't know. All I know is that there are letters piling up on your desk. Isn't it time to move on to another case?
Absolutely not, Watson. I think that the other Joseph is reluctant to meet me. The man he saw must certainly have put the fear of God in him, a man well known for his violence and his hatred towards Jews. There can't be any shortage of those in Whitechapel. I have hope yet. As for Dr. Tumblety...
We found him, Mr. Holmes. We found him.
Who's that?
Dr. Bumblebee. He's been locked up by the Bobbies. but they've let him loose. Oi, he was looking round like a rat who's scared of his own shadow. He's gonna do a run at he is.
Dr.
Watson, this is our chance.
Bumblebee.
The game is afoot. Let's hope that Tumblety will go to collect his trunk. As for you, my little friends, thank you for lifting this burden that has been on my shoulders for almost a month.
Dr. Bumblebee. Not Tumblety, Bumblebee. Bumblebee. Where was the lodgings? I've fucking forgotten again. Actually cannot remember.
Nothing of interest here. I have nothing of it. Let's return to the boarding house.
He is here. The doctor is here, up in his room. Peeking through my door, I saw him go up the stairs, and I think that he has a pistol.
Regarding the trunk, did you do what I told you to?
Yes, I jammed the lock and filled the trunk with stones. Should we call the police?
Absolutely not. Go home, lock your doors, and if you hear a gunshot, shout as loudly as you can. Watson, we must disarm this man at all costs before attempting to confront him. Come, have your pistol at the ready and stay alert.
Don't move a muscle or I shoot.
Who? But what is going on?
Bravo, Watson. I take back everything I ever said about your less than full involvement in our investigations.
Listen, Mr. Policeman. I already told everything to your colleagues at the station, so...
Don't you believe it, sir. We're not with the police. We are here to talk about human organs, an area in which you seem to have a great deal of interest.
What? But who are you?
We are the ones holding the pistol. Listen, Tumblety, tell us everything you know and you will be spared from the noose or a bullet. Have you tried to get hold of any female genitalia from someone during these past months?
Yeah, now you'll have the pee-poo sticky like me now, huh?
So that's it. You English. Listen, as it happens, I do have a collection of female genital organs which I hold dear and never miss the chance to show my friends whatever the occasion. If you knew what I feel when my eyes meet the young men's as they contemplate with astonishment and disgust this soft and flabby skin that they worship and place at the center of all their passions.
Fuck.
The actual fuck.
Women repulse me, gentlemen. They are one of nature's greatest mistakes. Lying, haughty, and most
just
of
pull the
all,
trigger, Watson.
nauseating. No, sirs. Men, mankind, we are not
Oh,
made
right,
to
Tora.
soil ourselves with such animals, and it is my task to educate my peers, like the ancient Greeks used to do,
Yeah, just
and put them on the path
click.
to masculine
Pull the trigger.
relationships, the only kind worthy of our intelligence.
My God, this man has lost his marbles, Holmes.
You haven't answered my question. Did you attempt to obtain any female organs?
Indeed, but a long time ago. I was living in Liverpool at the time. A few of my
That's a bit of
specimens
that
were starting
stuff.
to lose their freshness. But despite the sum proposed, the heads of the university hospitals refused to accede to my demands. The fear of what others would say, certainly. I know nothing more similar to an arrogant fowl than an English doctor. Yakety-yak, always showing off in the courtyard with their haughty airs. And as soon as...
Shut it, Tumblety. So, was it you who killed all of these women? Yes or no?
I regret to say that it was not. If I had really wanted a few more uteri, I would have had them brought in from the United States, where it would cost me
regret to
much
say that it
less
wasn't-
than
What?
here. Or I would have shown a
Yeah, it
few
was not.
gold coins in the
It wasn't you who
hallways of a
killed the women.
mall
I
or a
regret to say it was
hospital in
not.
London, and they would have
Sorry, it
kissed
wasn't
my
you.
feet
Yeah,
to
that's what he's
sell
saying.
them to me.
You wish it were you?
And
Yeah,
not
that's what
taken
he's
the
saying.
least risk.
Bro.
But kidneys are all the
He did just say that he hates women.
I think that I could find one tomorrow for less than a
Okay.
pound.
Fortunately, so he wanted, yeah, basically.
In short, gentlemen, I do not know your killer, and I
Okay,
don't
killing me
know
when
why
we
he's
get
doing
yes,
that.
please, Watson, just
But if
pull
you
the
come
trigger.
across him one day, please send him my friendship and my deepest respect.
Watson, empty
You've
your
gone
gun
too
into
far
his
this
face.
time.
Come, Watson, let's not get carried away now. Thank you for
Stick
your
off, big
assistance,
killer.
Doctor. If I may offer some advice, you should leave England as soon as possible. Each day that you remain in this country is a risk that an intelligent man would not take.
My pistol?
Without that, it will be even more risky.
Can we believe this man, Holmes?
He can't be the murderer, and his story regarding the organs fits.
But
But
sure.
we can't afford to take the slightest risk. I will ask the Baker Street irregulars
What's
to
the
follow
theory?
him. Listen, lads.
And take
when
a white-hot
Tumbleton leaves
spatula
here,
to
follow
his
him
dick.
discreetly and come and tell me as early as possible tomorrow where he is currently residing.
Look at those
Understood?
children.
Understood, Captain?
To Sherlock. Sherlock just walked through
You
that
are already
apron.
ready, Holmes. What is going on?
I
What
have
the
been waiting
fuck?
for you for at least an hour, Watson. It would appear that a new drama has unfolded. The youngsters came to give me this address, but I have some doubt as to the actual location we are going to. Let's try anyway. At worst, we may come across the Baker Street irregulars to put us in the right direction.
We are
How long are
lost,
Sherlock's
Holmes.
legs?
No, we're not, Watson. We are heading for the very street I'd
Yeah.
hoped for, but as I wasn't sure it was this one, I've made a few big detours in order to find the right one. I'll know it when I see the name.
Why, of course, Holmes. Why didn't I think of that? The great Sherlock Holmes can't...
The better than the go around. Something just came to mind from a show I watched. Dude was laying on his back and was super glued into his partner. They were both cheating with the other. He'd been given Viagra to stay hard and she was dead. Oh, his tongue was cut out so weird. I was thinking, Jesus. Enough actually sounds like one I've seen for some weird reason.
How are you, my friend? Are you not feeling well?
No,
My friend is a doctor. He can take care of you.
don't go there. He came here and he...
Now, Watson, take care of him.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Mary Kelly. What?
Even Sherlock's rattled.
My God!
What happened?
Pictures are gnarly.
Can't talk. Wait for the coppers. Are they coming? My eyes are crying.
No.
Go find them too, mister. I'll stay here and keep an eye out. Go!
No, I must await my friend. Ah, here he is.
He was under the man of heaven.
Watson, are you there? How are you?
He
Fine,
sees the
Holmes.
shit.
And you? What happened?
Hello, sir.
Forget a 1,000
Where are
yard
we,
stare. That's a
Watson?
fucking
In
5,000 yard
Whitechapel,
stare.
Holmes. This must be Dorset Street. You don't seem very well. Do you need something?
Indeed, Watson. Some clay, a great big piece of clay. I would ask for some wine, too, but as you know, I taste nothing but melodrama.
What is over there?
A trip from which you will never return, Watson. Trust me, don't go there.
A trip? Behind this door? In this room?
It's not strictly a door, it's more of a portal, a
It's being
threshold.
metaphorical,
And what lies
Watson.
behind it is not the mortal realm, Watson. It is a place beyond time and space, the gift of a frantic artist who made use of his talent in order to grant us access to his world, Watson. Beyond that threshold is an abyss. Hell.
I know
The
Sherlock
police
means
won't
helping
take
him
long
through the
to
shock,
arrive,
but
and
just
the
imagine
last thing I
pulling
want is
the
to waste
gun.
precious time on them. Could you lead me out of
No
this area
witnesses.
and take me home?
You want kissy screen time? Well, I don't know. Callie's basically riling one of them up.
No, I'm fucking with Dresden.
Yes, you're riling them up.
KP's is right here. He'd be willing to come to you.
Capius! Come here, buddy. Oh, here you are.
You should come and eat, Holmes. Mrs. Hudson has worked wonders. The joint has been cooked medium rare. If only you would tell me what was in the courtyard.
The answer, Watson.
The answer, Holmes?
Yes, the answer to a question that you asked me a few weeks ago.
How the devil can the answer to a question I asked you be found in that courtyard? And what question are you referring to, Holmes?
How our killer set about reaching the height
Watson,
of horror
how did
by
you just
taking
drink
another
wine
victim,
whilst
Watson.
you were still talking?
Did I not tell you that I wanted to avoid melodrama?
Do you mean to say that...
Yes, that's what was in that room. You helped towards the colour. All that's missing is the odour, but I shall let that pass. The mutilations almost all resulted in large removals of flesh. My photographic memory noted them all in great detail, the shape, size and location, and thanks to the softness of this clay and your medical knowledge, I believe we can attempt to determine what is missing from this lady.
Don't you think we should wait for the medical examiner's opinion?
Surely not, Watson. This massacre has gone on long enough. I can assure you that I will do everything in my power to get our hands on Jack the Ripper before this night is out.
I do like how
Watson,
they've done
we shall
this.
reconstruct the body of this poor woman and inspect it in detail as well. Your help as a medical man will be invaluable.
Holmes, I
We might have another shot with a
feel
demon
a bit
water.
unwell.
Well, I understand. I will manage on my own. Her throat was slit just like the others. The wound is particularly deep. Her throat was slit just like the others. The wound is particularly deep. The liver was neatly removed. There were incisions in the rib cage as if to inspect the lungs. An organ is missing, apparently. I must specify which organ this is on my list. There we are, Watson. We have examined everything. The heart is the only thing missing. 2 uteri, a kidney, and now a heart.
Because why I know,
He
right?
had all the time he
Well,
wanted in which to disfigure her,
good
cut
is
her up like a
subjective.
piece of meat, and yet took nothing but the heart. What do you think of that, Watson? Watson?
I was half expecting him to say, Watson? Watson? And he's just on the floor, just unconscious.
I dread to think how you'd react if you saw a corpse. I return to Whitechapel, Watson, to Isaac's. If the heart tells you to come with me, if the heart tells you a little wordplay there.
Right, Sherlock.
Sherlock has no decorum.
There is dark humour. There is very dark humour. And then there's that, which was fucking pitch black humour. Jesus Christ. Oh, God, even gallows humour is livelier than that. Science of Horror, that was awesome.
That kind of stuff.
Yeah. For Watson, but being an army doctor, would he not have seen worse?
No, that's the whole point.
Yeah. Yeah, no, like... bearing in mind when this was set, yeah, no, there weren't. That kind of thing wouldn't have been in his common thing.
Than anybody's common thing.
Let's go to the cobblers.
Street.
Beep, beep.
Why?
Evening, Mr. Holmes.
Good evening, Hardiman. Has Abraham Solomonovich still not reopened his shop?
No, not that I know of.
Have you heard anything about the latest murder?
Certainly
beep.
there is talk of nothing else. Poor girl. I hope they catch the bastard who did it.
Who do you think that could be?
A madman, that's for sure. Everyone in the area is pinning it on a Jew. But I don't believe that for a second.
Why?
Because Jews don't like blood, you see. They're not allowed to eat it, and they have to drain the meat before cooking it. It's true that they eat animals, but they are fanatical about all kinds of silly things. I don't know much about their rituals and all, but I know that a Jewish butcher can't just do whatever he pleases with his knife. He has strict kosher rules to follow.
You seem to be very well informed.
Well, I buy my meat from them too. My clients don't care whether the meat comes from Jews or not. Cats eat it regardless. And let me tell you, I'd go as far as to say that I may even have more faith in a Jew, because even if they don't eat all the offals, a Jew inspects them to see if the animal was in good health. Lungs, for the most part, and as they make up most of my cat's meat, you can see the connection, right?
Jews are allowed to eat offals?
Yes. They eat calves' kidneys, I think.
How big is that? A calf's kidney?
Ah, well, that depends if it's fresh or if it's been marinated in brine or cooked.
When fresh, are they as big as a human kidney?
They would be, yes.
You know, Mr. Hardiman, it's lucky for both of us that the murder that took place in your mother's courtyard was only the Whitechapel killer's third. Had it been the first, I wouldn't be thanking you, as I'm doing now, for all of this important information. Goodbye and take care.
If you say so. Right, farewell, Mr. Holmes.
Let's go to the cobblers. Let's go to the cobblers.
He's just said that the shop hasn't opened yet. Oh wait, no, that's about the pet shop owner.
Good evening, Mr. Solomonovich.
Evening, Mr. Holmes. If you've come about the business of my cousin, I hate to say...
Before you respond to my request, I must ask you to answer this question of the utmost importance. What offals are Jews allowed to eat?
Well, the same as you.
Kidney, heart, liver?
Yes.
How are they prepared?
Kidneys are boiled, heart is often finely sliced and cooked on a skewer, and liver is always grilled.
These offals, do they come from cattle?
Yes, beef or veal.
And eating non-kosher food would be a grave affair for a Jew, isn't that right?
Yes, it would be very serious. But what are you getting at?
If I were to tell you what I'm thinking, Mr. Solomonovich, you would pull out your own eardrums to not hear the end of my sentence. It goes against the beliefs of hundreds of members of your community, and for some, perhaps even worse. I will ask you one last time before involving the authorities, who I assure you will be far less discreet than myself. Do you know who the second Joseph is, the Aldgate butcher, who your cousin knows from the Imperial Club?
His name is Joseph Chaim Levy, but I don't know where he lives. I know nothing about him, other than he's a member of the Imperial Club on Duke Street.
That street is after Church Passage, coming from Mitre Square. Am I right?
That's it.
Thank you. You have been an enormous help to both of us. Now, listen carefully. I need you to find 4 or 5 strong men among the members of your family who you trust wholeheartedly, and to wait here with them until my arrival, or you receive a message from me. Is that clear?
But if you will tell me...
Later, Mr. Solomonovich, later. Let's go to the Imperial Club.
So...
Ah, there's the Imperial Club. Let's see if I can find Joseph Hyam Levy. The Imperial Club. Hello, sir.
Hello. Can I help you, sir?
Indeed, I have an urgent message from Mr. Joseph Levy, the Aldgate butcher.
I regret, sir, but Mr. Levy is not at the club at present. You can wait for him if you wish.
I thank you. Do you know where I can find him? His home address, perhaps? It is a very urgent matter.
I am sorry, sir, but we do not give out information regarding the club members to people outside the group.
I understand. I must find a way to enter the Imperial Club without having to go through the entrance hall.
I love the fact that his mouth was moving when he was saying that one, so he heard. Imperial Club. Today, Friday, November the 9th, 1888, 9 p.m. Informal meeting, naturalization. How to become a citizen of Her Majesty. The process and its implications. Club members' actions. 10 p.m. Open evening with musical accompaniment. Classical and traditional pieces. Mr. Blum piano. Mr. Schatz violin. Ah, I'm a violinist. Well,
A note
Sherlock is.
encouraging members of the Jewish community to remain prudent and vigilant after rumours about the Whitechapel murders.
You're not getting it, I heard you. Chief Rabbi's reminder, the Whitechapel murders weigh on our community heavily. Consequently, an exemplary conduct must be shown now more than ever, as well as increased vigilance. Jewish establishments such as synagogues, shops and clubs are likely to become targets. All incidents must be stifled as much as possible.
This may come in handy.
Oh, why do you need a broken coat hanger?
Judging by the sound of voices and applause, there is a meeting going on at this very moment. I'll have to be very cautious.
Pardon me, sir, but the club is only open to members.
I must find a way to enter the Imperial...
Anything else, sir?
Oh, would you look at this? This appears to be a secret way in.
It's a service door and firmly locked. There must be a stockroom in the cellar beneath this room. There's a cellar window behind this barrel, which is preventing me from passing. If I can just get into the coal cellar, I shall be in the place.
Pretty sure you can't do anything now, not with that. Oh.
This barrel is on a wooden pallet, but it is too heavy to be moved. I will need a pivot. I will need a pivot.
Need to search for a pivot. Ah. Wood.
There we are. My pivot is in place. Now, let's find something to tip over this barrel. I will need a pivot.
You've already placed the pivot there and said, I will need the pivot. No, that's not.
Nothing of interest here.
Easiest tool despite them being in his pocket. Yep. Yes, Capius?
Nothing of interest here.
This giving me a larger area than usual to search.
Nothing of interest here.
It's like they forgot to put the appropriate boundaries in this place.
I have no reason to go that way.
Yeah, well, only reason to be in this entire courtyard, if I'm actually honest. Well, this was on the cart. Nope. Nope. This area is just a whole big red herring, apparently. Aha. What's this called? It's just a piece of wood. The other thing was called an axle. This is just called piece of wood.
I should be able to make it tip over.
That made it look so weightless.
Let's go. Good. Let's try to find the exit that leads to the club.
Sherlock, you get excited about really weird things.
This may come in handy.
Sherlock sees a key, he's like, ooh, yoink. Didn't know apparently I was playing thief.
Empty tin cans.
Well, if there's more than one of them, he's going to be doing the can-can.
The kitchen. It's closed, and besides, I won't find what I'm looking for in there.
It's closed.
Administration. Perfect. This must be where the information on club members is kept.
Why did that one just close by itself?
Let's hope that it really is the key to this door. Administration. Perfect. This must be where the information on club members is kept.
What? Why did you have to say it again, Sherlock?
A page from an old Yiddish English dictionary.
No, you picked up the whole
Curious.
thing. New Court, Tuesday, April 6th, 1886, before Mr. Recorder. Oh, he sounds quite musical. 419, Morris Phillips 30, Moss Wolf 16, and Jacob Livy 30. Stealing 14 pounds of meat of Hyman Sampson, the master of Phillips and Wolf. Mr. Clure prosecuted. Mr. Moister appeared for Mr. Phillips, Mr. Black for Wolf, and Mr. Jagan for Levy. Samuel Bacon, city policeman. Oh my god, of course. The British don't call their policemen pigs, but Jesus Christ. Wow. Actually, no, they do. Not recently. I received information from my inspector, and on the 10th of March at 6:15 a.m. I was watching the prosecutor's shop. Phillips came up to the door and knocked, got answer, and went away. About 2 minutes afterwards, Levy came out to his shop door, which is next door. A post advised them. He knocked at Mr. Sampson's door and went back in at his own door. Came out again in a minute or two, unscrewed the bolt of his shutter bar, and then looked around and knocked at Mr. Sampson's door again. There being no answer, he went down the street 10 or 12 yards to the corner of Stony Lane. Phillips joined him. Okay.
This must be the club's safe. What I'm looking for is probably inside. I need something.
Close the door thing again. Why have I got... Why am I carrying around the dictionary? Oh, damn it, Tora. Actions speak louder than words, Tora, and clearly you do not.
Some square metal tokens. Curious. There is a document.
Sir, I wanted to let you know that in your club needed kosher meat when you have any functions, I will be available to furnish it for you, guaranteed by a compliant abattoir. It will be delivered directly to your society at a time that is convenient, reasonable prices. Do not hesitate to call on my services, Jacob Levy. Refused on the advice of Joseph Hyam Levy. Oh. Yes, but anyway,
there must have been litigation between Joseph Hyam Levy and Jacob Levy.
I'm going to draw it out then. That's my mouse. Let's do this to bring that up. Cock. It's a fudge round. That implies I like any of them, and no, I don't.
But you're enjoying that so much.
This must be the club's safe. What I'm looking for is probably inside. The lock on this chest is very sophisticated. Let's see. The lock on this chest is very sophisticated. Let's see.
Why is it giving me a dictionary if I can't actually... What? I don't know. Enjoy.
Double magic.
Yeah, I get that, but how? How does it...
Have you ever seen one of those puzzles where you like match the top to the bottom and then to the sides, where they have to be the same sort of picture?
Yes, but usually there's something to at least start you off with, or a reference. Off we go good with fudge rounds. I would never, ever, ever soil my coffee with that lump of turd. Also, why did he...
No, that's not it.
Oh wait, hang on. I've got to check something. Ah, no, Frogwares didn't make that mistake twice. The whole thing of in the previous game, the combination to the safe was on the graphic of the safe door. Oh. Let's get that. Oh, that quote. And hey, it didn't even break best behavior. wonder if I'm missing something from
I
another.
remember. It worked.
Yeah, that's probably what I might have to do.
No, that's not such a good idea. There's a meeting taking place.
Well, and that's going to be the way out. Was like, yeah, no, New Rose Hotel. Enjoy. Oh, right. I'll be right back.
The lock on this chest is very sophisticated. Let's see.
Did somebody get you? Who got you? Trees. These two have to be in this room. Because this symbol are not on the bottom.
I was going to be doing that sense, please.
And I would bet that this one is here. It's here.
Those two. So it could be that, and then that could go. No, that can't, because there's nothing on that side. Could go there, which means that would have to go there. That would have to go there. That would have to go there. Go there, and that goes there.
Elementary. I need something.
Maybe it's... Oh, right. The dictionary.
These documents contain some words in Yiddish, which reads from right to left.
We know from Kabbalah that the power of Gematria that enables us to count every living thing, everything in the world seen and unseen. Thus we know that Lester counts as 439, and he is blessed because 439 is also that, which means the man of God. Dear Joseph, I did the count of the club names of our club members, which is as follows. Mr. Barth is 403, B. Bet 2 LF1, and Thav 400. Mr. Hammer is 356, Hay 5, LF1, Mem 40, Ain 70, And Raish 200. Sincerely yours. P.S. Please tell Mr. Murrell that provided his name is spelled but he's 346. What? Oh, right. So that's 5. It's just random. I need to download Doog Eternal from Mal, yeah. So that's 1, 2, 5, 6, 30. 40, 70, 200. So, Raish, that 200 goes to R. Um, 70, do we have a 70? We have Ain. So AI. Doesn't help. I guess that point's not here. What?
It's the one that you're being on.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. A is 1. So that is there. Of course it is. I have a 5. I have 5 there, so H goes there. 2. I have 2. That's B. Okay, so that's 6. But 6 isn't there. Ah. That's L, I think. Because Morel L, because it's written backwards, 346. Wait, no, that can't be right. Because that and that are the same, but Leicester and Morel are not the same. What? Oh, Ain is E. Okay, so 70 is E. I don't think I've gotten these ones right. I think this is probably right, but these ones aren't. Really? Oh, it actually says if I'm right or wrong. So yeah, I've been right this entire time. Jesus, okay. Okay, so that is 6. I would have immediately thought they would be I since it's after H, but no. 3, 4, 6. 6 is one of these. So it's morale. So it's one of the things that's in there. U. It's got to be U.
Excellent. Now, on to the next step.
Ah. Find Joseph Levy. Born Aldgate, 1841. Membership, April 14th, 1887. Home address, 36 Middlesex Street, Aldgate. Profession, self-employed butcher at 1 Hutchinson Street, Aldgate. Dues, 10 shillings, 6 April 14th, 1887. 11 shillings, April 15th.
Here we are. I have the address of this Joseph Hyam Levy, 36 Middlesex Street. Now, let's try to get out of here
Why
without
is it
being
not
seen.
tilted? Your face is tilted. This game had actually, initially, at first, had me genuinely scared for certain things. Like, well, Sherlock's hat just went through the,
Blast! My exit has been sealed off. The barrel was replaced. I'll have to find another way.
like with, you know, like, I have to avoid being seen, or this place gives me the willies. I always thought there was going to be something weird.
No, that's not a good idea. The watchman is still there. I must find a way to get him to leave his post.
Sherlock, are you going to set something on fire? Is that why you have your matches still? You're going to set something on fire?
Not a good idea.
Are you going to start do I start a fire in the big mountain of coal and then run into a different room? This is that. If that's true, then that is very much close to Mystery of the Druids level fuckery. Yes, and that as well. Okay. As much any problem, it bothers me. Well, get bothered, nerd. Oh, I should probably go into the... Is that rope cuttable? Yes!
Funny what?
Got my burn ship up. I mean, honestly, same. Also, Father, are we paying Romaniacs? Yes, we are, son.
The kitchen. It's closed and...
Ah, I can get a bottle or can. Lots of cans, right? Tin cans. What the fuck am I going to do with?
You need something to light.
Well, the administration office had a bunch of paper, so maybe. It's really unnerving the doors keep closing themselves like that. Fuck's sake.
Oh, look, on the safe.
Oh, yeah.
This may come in handy.
Set the bucket on fire. What?
Okay, so you want a...
Oh, yes, I've
burn
got...
the rope. They're gonna fall, create a diversion, and then you'll be able to scamper away.
Where? Oh, the clone welcome. Burn it all to the ground. I mean, it's Sherlock, he probably would. So it's got to be starting with the rope, I would assume. Wouldn't be somewhere...
I
Oh, there it
need
is.
something.
KPS, what is it, buddy? You say the janky part as if the rest of the game hasn't been fucking janky already. Alright, that doesn't seem to be it. There's a missing item. Or do I need to...
I can't get out through the window. It's blocked and appears to be reinforced. I'll have to find another way out.
We tie the other.
That's what I'm trying to find. There. Oh, there.
I can't get out through the window. It's blocked and...
I know why it's like that.
Closed. Closed.
There we are.
Now let's quickly hide in administration.
Gin.
Oh, it's been 10 minutes since I can say fuck. Good thing I didn't fucking break fucking best way fucking behavior. Fuck. Yes. Fuck.
Blood.
Your shoes should be not be making that noise on that carpet. I've played
Let's
Thieves too
visit
much.
Joseph Levy at 36 Middlesex Street.
Ah, sex.
Here I am in Middlesex Street. Let's find number 36.
You're on the wrong side of the road, that's for sure. There's 36.
Hello, sir. What do you want?
Hello, Mum. I would like to speak with Mr. Levy. Do you know if he's in?
I am Mrs. Levy, his wife. He's not arrived yet.
Do you know when he'll be in?
Oh, no idea. You know, he works at the butcher's and helps at the slaughterhouse. It often happens that he doesn't come in until early morning and then leaves right away.
Well, listen. As soon as your husband Joseph returns, tell him that...
My husband isn't called Joseph.
You aren't the wife of Joseph Hyam Levy?
No, of course not. I'm the wife of Jacob Levy. Mr. Hyam Levy used to live here with his parents, but he moved.
Mummy, who is the man that you are talking to?
What the fuck has
This
gone
poor
on with
child
his
has syphilis.
face?
He carries the mark on his face.
Leave us, children. Go back inside with your brothers and sisters.
Yes, Mother.
As I was saying, Mr. Hyam Levy doesn't live here. He works in a butcher's near Aldgate, but I don't know exactly where. But if you find him, he will surely live next door. Butchers always live near their work.
Could you possibly give him a message on my behalf?
I don't see him often, and, well, even though we know him, we aren't on friendly terms, you see?
Is he bothering you, Mummy?
No, Simon, not at all.
That's a handsome boy you have. It's strange that he has light hair.
He takes after his father. Strong, with light hair.
Wait, he sounds familiar to me. A man of about 50 years old, very big, at least 6 feet tall, and left-handed, correct?
You are mistaken yet again. My husband is only 32 years old, no taller than 5'3".
Clever
and he's
Sherlock.
right-handed.
Obviously, there are many Levies in the area. I will leave you, and I pray that you'll excuse the disturbance. Perhaps we will have the pleasure of meeting again. Farewell, Ma'am.
Goodbye, sir.
Daddy!
I must return to Baker Street. Let's go to Baker Street. Well, Watson, not looking so good.
Whose fault is that, Holmes? If you hadn't shown me your masterpiece in clay.
Some actions have much larger repercussions than would be assumed at first glance. Listen, Watson, in a few
Oh
minutes...
no, he
I
was
will
saying
leave
those
Baker
things on
Street in order
purpose to
meet
try and
Jack
get the
Ripper
corrected
and put an
response.
end to his crimes. Beforehand, I want to go over all our discoveries to assure myself that everything is clear.
Jack the Ripper? You know the identity of Jack the Ripper?
Without a
Watson,
shadow of a
please,
doubt,
you do
Watson,
not need to
and I
talk
assure
like
you that we are
this.
in possession of all the elements required to determine who Jack the Ripper is. Would you like to do this work with me?
Dog Watson.
Well, we are still missing certain information in order to finish this investigation, Watson.
The man be angled. Is or was a butcher. Murray, welcome back. Tenderizing them patties. Nervous. Oh, you mean you've been here the entire 9.5 hours?
Perfect, Watson.
Oh, yeah.
Let's determine who Jack the Ripper is, Watson.
Ow. And still got this amount to go.
Thus, we have 5 suspects. Let's add the elements that correspond to each of them.
Like curled hair and a moustache. I love that the artist is here as well. Isn't. What? Yes.
Five.
No, that's how much? How many of the tank I've still got? Play Monster Monday. Sounds like an emo song. Everything. Oh, there's, yeah, see. It's him. He was not familiar with syphilis. He was. No. Okay. That's fine. No, he's quite tall. No, he's quite short. Huh? No, fair. Are you sure? I am very sure. But the problem is that I've got to make sure it goes into all. I match all of these. Critical force. Oh, he does. And see, it's got settled with the Jewish community. No, not really. Well. He was a butcher. Don't think any of. Oh, he was. Oh, of course, yeah, he is. Are you sure? Your face is unsure.
You have no idea who's behind you.
What?
The last one. So there's 5 up there, right? You can only see 1 through 4.
Oh. Yeah. There we are.
And there you go, Watson. Jacob Levy, Jack the Ripper.
Fantastic, Holmes. And terrifying. But some aspects of this case are still unclear, at least for me.
And now...
For example, Watson?
Why does the man only kill prostitutes?
The man kills prostitutes because he blames them for the misery of his life. He must have frequented them assiduously, and during these nocturnal visits, he contracted syphilis, which he passed on to his spouse, and via her, at least one of his children. He is an angry man in despair following a mistake that cannot be fixed.
Why does he only kill such miserable prostitutes?
He never had the means to afford prostitutes of higher standing than Nichols, Chapman and the others. At one point in his life he was forced to steal to make ends meet. This indiscretion cost him dearly. He was imprisoned and exiled from his community. He had frequented low-class prostitutes, thus it was they who infected him and they who must pay.
But why did he remove the organs?
To take vengeance on his own community, which rejected him and had more success than he. He is a man who bore the burden of a sinister reputation, that of a thief and a madman, because of his internment. So he took his vengeance in the most cowardly and horrific manner imaginable. He rubbed his knife on the uterus of a sick prostitute before using it. He passed Edow's kidney off as a veal kidney.
Why did he disfigure the faces of the last 2 victims?
Revenge yet again, Watson. This is what you did to my child. You will suffer the same fate.
And the piece of apron and the message at Goulston Street?
The only reason to have placed the piece of apron incriminating the message and attracting attention towards himself is that the people that Levy holds responsible for his arrest live in this building. The butcher's where he committed the theft is found in Goulston Street, and the majority of the butchers who denounced him surely live close to their workplaces.
But finally, Holmes, why didn't his wife or anyone else notice anything?
His wife has many children and must be very busy. The man is a butcher, which must facilitate things when one is questioned by the police in the street and must justify the bloodstains on oneself. Furthermore, butchers often work during the night as the meat must be sold fresh each morning. His nocturnal absences were easily justifiable. Finally, he works in the butchers or slaughterhouses. Nothing could be more simple than slipping a kidney in here and using a knife soiled with human blood there.
This story is frightful, Holmes.
Indeed, Watson. Lies, infidelity, venereal disease, murder, mutilation, and finally cannibalism. A complete anthology of what humans at their most vile are capable.
Let's go at once to Whitechapel and put this madman where he can do no more harm, Holmes.
Let's, Watson.
I do believe we are not alone. I hope these men won't prevent us from passing.
Me? No. But you, yes, Watson. Your journey ends here tonight.
Pardon?
You are sometimes a little hot-headed. Moreover, Mr. Solomonovich has a few things to tell you. I won't be long.
You can come in, Mr. Holmes. He's waiting for you inside. Everything was organized according to your instructions. I don't know how to thank you.
Later. Dr. Watson is awaiting an explanation from you.
Mouth movements. Yeah. God love the model work.
But
That one just broke. Maybe it's an attorney breakdown. Objection! Hold it. Take that. He just goes for a random quote and gets, "I'm harder than a maths problem."
Hello, Watson.
Holmes, have you the slightest idea what you are doing?
I think so, Watson.
Leaving this bloodthirsty pervert at liberty and hiding his existence from the London police? What folly!
Certainly, the police will never find their man, but with so many men deployed, this affair will indirectly have a benevolent effect on the crime in the vicinity.
But Holmes, wait! Justice hasn't been served, and we are accomplices to the fact.
Justice? But I don't serve justice, Watson. I serve truth. And incidentally, I serve my country, and I don't think that I have ever served it better than today. Imagine if after months of terror and a murder as abominable as that of Miller's Court, we deliver to the English people a man of the Jewish faith, a journeyman and head of family as the guilty party. A man who forced members of his own people to eat human flesh. All of this contained tension would have exploded in a myriad of anti-Semitic acts which would have thrown Whitechapel into a rage of fire and blood. And this man's family, who are completely innocent and have suffered more than their lot, would have been the first in the line of sight. Should we condemn an entire people to shame and promise them 1,000 wounds because one of their members committed an unmentionable crime? Neither I nor you have the right to do so. Jacob Levy, Jack the Ripper, is now in the hands of his own people. I have complete faith in Mr. Solomovich and the members of his community who, I remind you, courageously helped us. They took great risks and acted with the most salutary discretion. And, oh yes, it is understood that you cannot chronicle this investigation. It would be best to invent a story that takes us far from London during the somber period, in pursuit of, let's see, something challenging. A ghostly dog that glows in the night.
The Hound of the Baskervilles.
Don't be ridiculous, Holmes. But what will happen now? The police will endure a serious setback and a real loss of credibility. And this man?
Well, a few months after the murders have ceased, the police commission, finding themselves at an impasse, will come up with a story to tell, and everyone will vow that they know the secret identity of the killer without having the right to reveal it. As for Jacob Levy, Jack the Ripper, he will be imprisoned by his own people. He will pace like a lion in its cage until the end of his days, haunted by his crimes and his insatiable vengeance, until finally the disease which drove him to kill those poor women will finish its work and make him its final victim.
The murder of Mary Jane Kelly was Jack the Ripper's last crime. On July 29th, 1891, Jacob Levy died of a general paralysis caused by syphilis. In the same year, 1891, the police filed away the case for good without explanation. For the general public, the mystery remained unsolved. Jack the Ripper's shadow roams forever in Whitechapel's alleys. And there we go. That was Sherlock Holmes versus Jack the Ripper.